I recognize Chairman Ami Bera for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the chairman stated, the Indo-Pacific is home to approximately 60% of the world's population. It's also home to 3 of the largest global economies and many of the most important transit points for global commerce. And yet the region remains significantly under-resourced in U.S. development and diplomacy dollars. Let me just offer a few examples from this year's budget request. In bilateral economic assistance, the Indo-Pacific made up just 13% of the total request. In security assistance, foreign military financing to the region is just 3% of the global total. In diplomatic presence, we lack sufficient diplomatic personnel and facilities in key parts of the region, like the Pacific Islands, while the People's Republic of China rapidly expands its presence and nefarious activities in those same places. The under-resourcing of the Indo-Pacific has been a problem for years. It's not unique to one administration, but it must change. That's why my friend and the ranking member of the Asia Subcommittee, Steve Chabot, and I introduced the Indo-Pacific Engagement Act. The bill will help address this resource problem by creating more transparency around the diplomatic and development resources needed in the region. Our bill directs the senior leaders of U.S.-Asia policy at the State Department and USAID to provide an independent cost assessment for fulfilling the 2022 Indo-Pacific strategy. The bill directs those leaders, the Assistant Secretaries of State for East Asia and the Pacific, and for South and Central Asia, and the Assistant Administrator for Asia, to make their assessment public. It also requires them to submit an update to the assessment every year. Our legislation is modeled off the success that the Armed Services Committee has had a few years ago through a report they required of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. They have drawn a lot of attention to the defense resources needed in the region, with notable changes in the annual defense appropriations specific to the region each year. That's why we need to do the same for diplomatic and development resources. It'll make our presence in the region stronger. It'll help us compete with the PRC, and it's the right thing to do to help strengthen the region. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I urge all members to support this bill, and I yield back.